Welcome back to the Panic Room, everyone, and to a tag video today. Yes, we have the tag owl. He's not wearing a hat today because he wasn't ready for this tag, much like you aren't. So guys, a little bit of backstory. I was actually doing some research. I know, shock, right? I was just getting a bunch of pictures and stuff together for this video that I knew I would need, and I was thinking that some of my tastes for some of these questions might be a little weird, but at the same time, you're probably expecting that, right? So let's get started. I have Alex's video pulled up on my phone for the prompts, and prompt number 1, what is the darkest love story you've ever read, novel or novella? So, just like Alex in her video, I am going to take some liberties with some of these, and this first one is one of those, because I don't read a whole lot of romance. I just don't. But one of the darkest kind of love stories that I remember reading is The Lovely Bones. And if you've read that, or you've seen the movie, you know that it just absolutely rips your soul out through your feet. It is gut-wrenching, the whole situation, but for me, at its heart, it is almost like a girl's love story with her life. And you have this whole thing with her love from her family, and it's darkly beautiful, you know, because it's such a tragic situation, but there is so much love there that exists throughout all of it. And I don't know, it's gut-wrenching, yeah, but to me it is darkly romantic. You know, it's a girl in love with the life that she had, it's her girl's family, you know, the love that they share, you know, things like that. So for the first prompt, I went with The Lovely Bones. Okay, prompt number 2, what literary character do you love to hate? Okay, so I have 4 of these for you, all from the same book, The Kids from the Ruins. I hated them all. I was cheering for the vine. All 4 of those kids were idiots, and I'm glad they're dead. Anyway, moving on. Prompt number 3, who is your literary crush, character or author? So I did take some more liberties here, but Alex in her video shared this story about how she liked this boy on the cover of this like YA novel when she was a kid, and I kind of have a story like that. So it is a movie that I picked, I know, but it's kind of about a book. So, like I said, guys, I'm taking liberties here, okay? I don't read romance, so you get what you get. I went with The Labyrinth. And yeah, if you've seen that, you know, I feel like it's like a cult classic by now, but I remember being quite young, very young, like I think 8 or 9, and thinking that the Goblin King was just the bee's knees. Little did tiny me know, my mom actually had to tell me, that the Goblin King was the one and only David Bowie. And I still to this day blame that movie and David Bowie as the Goblin King for me finding eyeliner attractive on a man. Alright, so prompt number 4, who is your horror movie crush? Easy. Actually, Alex and I have the same one. It's Christian Bale in American Psycho. This movie is the reason that song, Every Girl's Crazy About a Sharp-Dressed Man. Yeah. But there's another scene. This one right here, where he's covered in blood. Yeah. Never before has a man pulled off being covered in blood, screaming with a chainsaw, and done it in such a sexy manner. But Christian Bale accomplished that. So, yeah. And special mention to Brandon Lee from The Crow. He's another reason why I think eyeliner is hot on a man. So, Christian Bale in American Psycho, and Brandon Lee from The Crow. Alright, so prompt number 5. What horror writer, living or deceased, would you like to have a date with, platonic or otherwise? So, platonic, definitely. I always envisioned this like a lunch type interview thing where I just get to ask them whatever the hell I want. And I went with Ray Bradbury. Now, I know he's not like horror exclusive or whatever, but I think the man's work is beautiful. And I would love to pick his brain. I don't know, maybe just like ask him about his philosophy about life, you know, like his inspiration, you know, kind of pick apart some of his works if he's game for that, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, Ray Bradbury. Prompt number 6, name a darkly romantic movie that you love, horror or non-horror. Alright, so I went with What Dreams May Come. And I feel like if you've seen that, you know why I picked it. It is very dark, but it is definitely a romantic movie. I think the imagery is just gorgeous. Now there is a scene at the end of that movie, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers because you definitely should go watch it. It's absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of different type of love that happens in that movie, like as far as like family and romantic, all of this. But there is a line at the end of that movie that I, to this day, think is one of the most romantic things I have ever heard. And he is talking to his wife, and he tells her that her only flaw is that a man would give up heaven for hell just to be with her. and that has stuck with me. It's just so beautiful, the idea that someone could love someone that much. So yeah, what dreams may come. All right, prompt number 7, best love or sex scene in a horror movie. All right, so a lot of times I find sex scenes like kind of funny. I just do. And I have to go with, to me, the best one that I've seen recently, I guess you could say, it's actually been a number of years, is in Teeth. And if you've seen this movie, I feel like you know why I went with it. It's hilarious to me. The premise is just hilarious to me, but you know, maybe that's just me. I kind of have an odd sense of humor. So, but yeah, Teeth for the best sex scene. Okay, so prompt number 8, the worst love or sex scene. Okay, so this has scarred me. It's seared into my brain. My boyfriend has this whole penchant for like terrible movies, a la like Troll 2 or The Room, if you know what I'm talking about. And they're those movies that they're so bad that they have this cult following because they're bad, you know? No hate. I absolutely love The Room. We quote it all the time in my house. I think it's hilarious. But there's a movie called Brain Damage. I think it's from the late 80s. I want to say it's 1988, 89, something like that. Maybe 90, I'm not sure. There is a scene in that movie that involves a sex act with an alien and a brain, and it's terrible. It goes on for like a weird amount of time. As the viewer, you get kind of like uncomfortable simply because the camera doesn't pull away when you think it should. It's shot bad. It's a terrible premise, but it's hilarious. But if you enjoy terrible movies, a la like Troll 2 and stuff, like what I was saying, and you haven't seen Brain Damage, highly recommend. It might give it to you. All right, prompt number 9, most deliciously decadent food or drink indulgence. Now, I know a lot of people say wine. So I'm going to throw in here that I do enjoy wine, not white. It's a little too sweet for me, but my favorite wine is Shiraz. I absolutely love Shiraz. But my drink of choice is usually gin. So I did go with gin. To me, that is decadent. And, of course, dark chocolate. The best chocolate, in my opinion. No matter what dark chocolate is in, like cake or whatever, it just seems to like kick up the decadence. So yeah, dark chocolate. And Shiraz or gin. Okay, prompt number 10, best darkly romantic short story. So I swear I didn't plan this. It just happened to work out this way. I have been reading a few anthologies here lately, and one of them was Regina's Women in Trouble anthology, and the very first story in that fit into this prompt beautifully. It's called Snowblind, and it is darkly romantic because there's a lot of different situations happening here, a lot of like family relationships and romantic relationships, and it's just off the wall and kind of batty and kind of dark, and I really liked it. So, dark romantic short story, Snowblind by Regina. Okay, so prompt number 11 is to read a dark poem. Now, before I begin with this one, I do want to give a special mention to Annabel Lee. I know it's cliche, it is by the one and only Edgar Allan Poe, but I have loved Poe for years, and Annabel Lee was one of the reasons I got into Poe way back when. So I think it is a beautiful poem. If you have never read it, highly recommend. However, I did want to go with a different one that maybe you hadn't heard of, and it is by a man by the name of Pablo Neruda. And the poem is called Every Day You Play. So I'm, in true poetic fashion, going to read it and allow you to draw your own conclusions. I find it quite dark and very beautiful. So here we go. Every day you play with the light of the universe. Subtle visitor, you arrive in the flower and in the water. You are more than this white head that I hold tightly as a bunch of flowers every day between my hands. You are like nobody since I love you. Let me spread you out among yellow garlands. Who writes your name in letters of smoke among the stars of the south? Oh, let me remember you as you were before you existed. Suddenly the wind howls and bangs at my shut window. The sky is a net crammed with shadowy fish. Here all the winds let go sooner or later, all of them. The rain takes off her clothes. The birds go by, fleeing the wind. The wind. I alone can contend against the power of men. The storm whirls dark leaves and turns loose all the boats that were moored last night to the sky. You are here. Oh, you do not run away. You will answer me to the last cry. Curl around me as though you were frightened. Even so, a strange shadow once ran through your eyes. Now, too, little one, you bring me honeysuckle, and even your breasts smell of it, while the sad wind goes slaughtering butterflies. I love you, and my happiness bites the plum of your mouth. How you must have suffered getting accustomed to me, my savage, solitary soul. My name that sends them all running. So many times we have seen the morning star burn, kissing your eyes, and over our heads the gray light unwinds in turning fans. My words rain over you, stroking you. A long time I have loved the sun, mother of pearl of your body, until I even believe that you own the universe. I will bring you happy flowers from the mountains, bluebells, dark hazels, and rustic baskets of kisses. I want to do with you what spring does with the cherry trees. So yeah, I thought that was beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed that. And that is probably one of the most romantic things I think I've ever read, actually. So number 12 is the obligatory tag people. Now, I know this is after Valentine's Day, way after Valentine's Day by the time I put mine out. So if you want to do it, do it. So I loved this. I thought it was way different than some of the other tags. It's not one that I would have gravitated towards, but I'm really glad Alex tagged me because I actually had fun. So yeah, if you want to do it, do it. I'm not going to tag anybody by name, and I would love to know who you think's hot in your books or movies, so feel free. Anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you for coming back to the Panic Room for another tag video. Please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. And until next time, bye for now.